Alright folks, today we're going to be talking about the 54-inch Black Series curved LED light bar from Rough Country Suspension Systems. As you can see, we already have the bar mounted on the truck. We're just going to do a quick overview on the installation and what to expect if you purchase one of these and you get ready to install it. Alright, your light bar is going to come with a wiring harness that will come with your positive and negative lead, which your positive is your hot, your black is your ground. It'll have a fuse built into it as well as a relay. Now there's a number of ways to go about installing this. Some trucks I know have auxiliary points where you can actually hook accessories to. My truck, I just went ahead and hooked mine off my power lead, my hot on the battery, the hot part, and then grounded it on the negative side. You can ground on the negative side, or you can ground anywhere metal on inside of the engine bay, just as long as you have a good stable metal ground. That's entirely up to you. From there you'll have your relay, which needs to be mounted up high in a dry place that's safe, won't get knocked off or broken. I mounted mine here because I already had an existing hole, so all I had to do was drop a bolt in it, and as you can see, it's quite secure. From there I went ahead and ran my wiring this way up above my radiator, up under this shroud right here, and looped around this side into my firewall. I just picked a grommet, and your truck, it varies, but the grommets in the firewall, just a big rubber grommet. You can pull it out, slide your wiring in through that, and then push the grommet back in. So from here we're going to step over to the side and take a look at the mounting brackets and talk about those. Alright, once you order your light bar, it will come with a set of universal brackets that you can use if you would like to. I went ahead and ordered Rough Country's vehicle specific brackets that mount on your pillars. I personally was not looking forward to drilling into the roof of my truck, so I thought this was a little bit of a better option. But if you do decide to order these particular brackets, what you can expect is it'll come with your two brackets along with 6 3/16 inch rivets. What you'll end up doing is measuring 4.5 inches down on the F-150, 4.5 inches down from the top of your windshield. Then you can make a mark with a Sharpie, and then that will be your reference point for the bottom of your bracket. This will vary by vehicle. I believe GMs and other brands might have a little bit different reference number there and mount a little bit differently. But for the sake of this video, we'll just keep rolling with the Ford application. Once you figure out where your bracket's supposed to go, you'll want to pull down your weather stripping and slip it inside of this channel right here on the flat point. From there, you can use the stencil itself, you can use the bracket itself as a stencil and hold it up there and drill through it if you like, or you can take a Sharpie, put a piece of painter's tape on here and mark it and then drill if you would prefer. Either way is acceptable, but when you do get ready to drill your holes, make sure that and Rough Country's instructions also mention to do this. Take a piece of tape of some sort, or maybe some paint, and on your drill bit, from the tip of the bit, go down 1/2 inch and make a reference mark. That way you don't over drill into your pillars. So from here, we're going to walk over to the other side and talk about running the wiring into the cab.
Now,
Alright, once you get to this side, you'll have to decide exactly how you want to go about running your wiring into the cab of your truck. There are a number of ways to go about doing this. Some are more evasive than others. You could simply take a 1-inch hole saw, drop your headliner, drill a hole in your roof, put a grommet in it, and then silicone it. Yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to that since, as most of you know, when you drill into the cab of your roof, typically at some point, regardless of how you seal it, you're prone to end up with leaks. Another option, and I've seen this on the forum, some people will take the 1-inch connector that plugs into the wiring harness and will actually cut that off and then drill a smaller hole to push the wiring through and then splice the connector back on, which is also another option. Personally, I didn't want to do either of those options, so the route I went with is I picked 2 staggered points behind my weather stripping on the metal here, and then I actually notched out a section of the metal behind there and trimmed the back of my weather stripping so that I could get the cable inside the cab. From there, I pushed it up behind my headliner and behind my A-pillar cover here, and then ran it down since my wiring came through the driver's side of the firewall, everything was right here behind it, and I just went ahead and plugged it all in right there, and it was a nice, simple, clean installation. This will come with a light switch, with an on-off switch, which is right here. It's a no drill switch. It has 3M double-sided tape on the back and an LED indicator light that lets you know when it's on or off. When the light is off, the indicator light will be red. Once you turn it on, it'll turn green. You may be able to see that. If not, you just have to take my word for it. The light bar itself, as far as quality, from what I've seen, it's definitely a top-notch quality light bar. It's not one of those Chinese knockoff bottom of the barrel light bars. This light bar does have the IP67 waterproof rating. So a lot of those cheaper light bars, if you see them on the forums, people are complaining about LEDs quitting working and whatnot because moisture gets up in there. With this having that IP67 rating, you should not have that problem. And if you were to have that problem, Rough Country does offer, I believe it's a 3-year warranty on these. I don't recall off the top of my head. It's listed on their website, but either way, there is a warranty backing it, which is always a plus in my opinion. The output on this particular bar, as far as lumens, this is rated at 24,960 lumens, which that's bright. That is a very bright light. But the way they've done this bar is it has on the outside edge here, maybe we can come around and take a look at that and I can point it out to you. As you can see on the outside here, you have a dual row of 6 LED lights. These are going to be a flood type pattern. That's on each side. And then your center is going to be more of a spot pattern, which will give you a nice disbursement of light and without giving you that massive flood and washout effect that you can get from a lot of high power lights. So I think that pretty well covers it for now. We're going to be shooting a series of nighttime videos that should give you a very good idea of how bright this light is. So stay posted and keep an eye out for updates.